Go connect, go make some friends, go enjoy your life in the company of others. Work and life can have overlap. Everything is so much faster now. It's rapid fire, rapid pace. It leaves people feeling more stressed out and burnt out than ever. Who doesn't want their friends to win? What if I were to tell you that you do not need more work-life balance? You'd probably look at me and go, what are you talking about? I need way more work-life balance because I work too much and my life is unbalanced. Maybe. Or maybe you're one of the few that say, you know what, I could use more balance because I should work a lot more because all I do is play. If that's you, please leave a comment below and tell me what I am doing wrong in life and how I can do a little bit more of that. Cheers. But in all honesty, in all seriousness, work-life balance is a concept, an idea that has become wildly discussed, wildly popularized, and in many cases, hugely controversial in the last 5 to 10 years, right? Now, we could go into all the reasons why. We're not gonna do that. I think the pace of work and the expectations of work and profitability of companies all play into this and make what used to be pretty simple life, pre-internet life was simple and slower. And now with everything and the connectivity that we have and the connectedness that we have, or supposed connect, because that's also a fallacy, everything is so much faster now. It's rapid fire, rapid pace, and it leaves people feeling more stressed out and burnt out than ever. You know, I said that connectivity or connectedness is a fallacy. The wild thing is, like, this day and age, we have more ways to connect with each other than we've ever had. Like, it's not even arguable, like, it's factual. We have more ways to connect now than we ever have, ever before, and yet there is a larger amount of loneliness, depression, people feeling that they have no one to turn to and no community more than ever before. And this is why I like to talk about these things, to talk about relationship building, because I've been there at certain points in my life. I've felt lonely. I've felt depressed because not being a part of XYZ group, whatever that looks like. Being away from my parents when I was in college was a whole nother transition in life. Anyway, all of that is to say, it's real. And figuring out how to build relationships and make relationships is the cure to that. And doing it in a healthy, sustainable way. Now, let's talk about work-life balance. Or, as I like to call it, the work-life pie. Yes, a pie, not a cake. Because I like pie, and there's also no such thing as a cake chart, only pie charts. Thank you very much. So, I think work and life and everything, life, including work, it's only 100%, just like a pie chart. There's only 100%. Now, what you do with that 100% is completely and thoroughly up to you. The biggest thing is making sure that you are satisfied with the size of the slices. So if your home time and your vacation time and your time to recover and recuperate and regenerate and take for yourself is just a tiny little itty bitty sliver, that piece of pie is probably not big enough to satisfy you. So then you have to start looking at all the other things in your life and figuring out where you're going to cut in other areas in order to make that piece of pie big enough to satisfy your desires while understanding that all you have to work with is 100%. So, work-life balance, not so much. Doesn't exist. Balance implies a static situation, right? Balance implies no movement. It's balanced. It's not teetering, it's balanced. Work is dynamic. Life is dynamic. Things that we are dealing with are constantly changing. So to use the balance when we're talking about work and life, it's bullshit. I think we need a better way of looking at this. I think the pie chart is a good way of looking at this. I've heard a couple other suggestions, but one idea that I've been kicking around a lot, and I just recently did an episode about taking your interesting superpowers, like this delicious milk punch, and using your superpowers to connect with people. I also did another episode recently about how difficult it is to connect with people in life as an adult. How hard it is to make friends as an adult. Throw it into ChatGPT and just ask ChatGPT, why is it so hard to make friends and connections as an adult? I did that. It listed off like 9 different items that makes it challenging, all with sub-items, by the way, that makes it challenging to connect as an adult. It's hard, right? And so when you're thinking about work-life balance and you're thinking about how to keep your sanity with everything else that's going on, it's not balance, it's work-life satisfaction. Where is your work-life satisfaction? And one idea that I've been kicking around recently that I think has a lot to do with work-life satisfaction is this idea of work-life integration. Now, I think it's a lot easier to do this because I'm in sales and it is my job to connect with people. But let's face it, regardless of what we do, we all connect with people and we all sell in some way or another. This is gonna look different though based on career paths. I'm happy that I'm in sales because I think this lends itself to a sales environment. But when I say work-life integration, I have the unique opportunity to connect with the people that I work with. I have the unique opportunity to connect with clients. When I find a client that I like and that I resonate with and that morals and values and life stage and proximity, we both live near each other. When all of these things align and there's a check and all these boxes get checked, I can now start thinking about integrating that person into my life. I can now start thinking about really, truly developing a friendship with that person that goes beyond the office, that goes beyond work. I will still interact with them and I will still deal with them, but it will be from a point of business partners and business friends. Also, sidebar, we have to be really careful when we're integrating business and friendships. Some people call it business and pleasure. The comfort level that comes with having a friend can be a very dangerous and slippery slope if we don't always approach business friendships and business relationships professionally. We have to lead with business first. Have to. Because think about some of your best friends, or maybe even your wife or your husband. How do you treat them? If I were to guess, you probably treat them at times, not all the time, but at times, worse than you would ever treat a total stranger. That's common. I'll be the first one to say I've been a victim of that, right? It's like I treat my kids sometimes harder than I would ever treat a stranger's kids, right? It's this idea of familiarity, right? We become comfortable around people that we're close to. And sometimes that comfort lends itself to less than ideal behavior. So we have to be really careful that we're constantly checking ourselves and making sure that we're not too comfortable in the relationship, if you will, so that we're not negatively affecting the relationship or treating someone or poorly or taking them for granted in our work environment. Also, obviously, we should not be doing that to the people in our home environment as well, right? But I'm talking about work right now. So this idea of work-life satisfaction and using work-life integration to achieve more satisfaction, I really think is something that we all need to be aware of and cognizant of, because if you can identify people in your work situation that can positively affect your life and vice versa, right? You can positively affect their life. Now you're working, you're doing business together, you're getting a paycheck, you're paying the bills, you're sustaining yourself and your family, and you're doing it with a friend. You're doing it with someone that you care about. You're doing it with someone that you want even more so to win because they are your person. Thus, your work-life satisfaction is going to take a bump in the positive direction. It's going to go up. It's going to increase because you're doing work and you're doing life at the same time. You're finding that there's an overlap. You're creating an overlap. And so you're maximizing your pie chart. You're maximizing your 24 hours in a day by saying, hey, listen, these two things are not mutually exclusive. Work and life can have overlap. And if done correctly, that overlap can be a beautiful thing that saves you from feeling like you're on an island and feeling like you don't have a team and feeling like nobody cares about you and feeling lonely and spiraling off by yourself into nothing, right? Now, this is not the same as making the choice to choose work over family time or consume your life with work. That's unhealthy. That is not, I'm not going to speak for anyone else here, but I'm going to say for me personally, that would not feel good. I've gone down that path in the past at an earlier time in my career and an earlier time in my life, and it was not fulfilling. The only thing that it fulfilled, once again, because I'm in sales and usually hard work in equals a lot of money out, yeah, I was making a lot of money. I was making really good money, but my personal life suffered, right? And there was a little too much work. But then what I started doing is I started pivoting that into making sure that I was incorporating clients and customers that I connected with in my personal life. Going out to dinner with clients on a weekend, traveling with clients, going to shows with clients, doing life with people that I worked with, and keeping it professional and keeping it appropriate and really making it meld together in a beautiful way that checked a lot of boxes and created a lot more flexibility to that pie. The slices of pie were overlapping each other a little bit, and it worked. And so I want people to take this idea of work-life enhancement and combining work and life and doing them together in such a way that we talk about wellness a lot, right? That's a buzzword that's incredibly popular right now. Maybe work, if you do it correctly, can be part of your wellness. Maybe the relationships that you need in your life can come from connections with people that you're doing business with. And so it becomes more sustainable. It becomes more enjoyable. It becomes more fun. And at the end of the day, it's probably also going to become more profitable, because who doesn't want their friends to win? And who doesn't want to do great business and work extra hard and do the right thing for the people that they like, know, trust, and care about. So at the end of the day, work-life balance, it's bullshit. I'm not here to get into that argument, but I will say that work-life satisfaction, I think, is the lens that we all need to be viewing this hot topic through, right? Are you satisfied with where your life is at and where your work is at? And in order to enhance that satisfaction, is there any way that you can meld the two in an appropriate manner where you are getting your wellness and you are getting your connections and you're getting your relationships and your partnership and fun to be had with people that you work with or that you work adjacent to or that affect your business in some way, shape, or form? I think if we learn how to do that, if we learn how to blur those lines in a healthy way, our lives can be so much better and so much more satisfying on both sides of the fence, because we're kind of tearing down some of the fence and we're creating overlap in a healthy, professional, respectful kind of way. If you want to learn more about how to do this, I have an event revenue series that I love to use to affect this, right? Going out and doing fun things with your clients, throwing events, throwing parties, hanging out, doing cool stuff, educating your people that you're working with. All of these things can help lead towards combining that work and life aspect of what you're trying to achieve and ultimately getting you a lot more satisfaction in what you're doing. If you're interested in that, reach out, drop me a note, shoot me an email, find me at nathanmark.com. I would love to help you achieve a much happier, much more balanced, dare I say, or much more satisfying combination of work and life, and doing it with the people that you're currently working with and the people that are currently affecting your work life. All right, till next time, take care, go connect, go make some friends, go enjoy your life in the company of others, and I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.